This video is sponsored by my Patreon and YouTube members. Join today to gain access to my super chill Discord server where we discuss toys and other nerdy topics daily. Hasbro has dominated the transforming toy genre since 1984, but there have been many toy lines that have used transformation as their main gimmick. They just weren't as successful. I have covered many of these toy lines in my Transformers That Are Not Transformers series of videos. And while many of these toy lines are so interesting and fun, you can see why they didn't quite find an audience like Transformers did. But one series stood out to me the most: Metal Cardbot. Produced by entertainment company Sam G and designed by the geniuses at Brave Studios, Metal Cardbot harkens back to the early 2000s era of Transformers in the best way possible. And the series has evolved over the years into potentially Transformers' biggest rival. If you're an active Transformers fan online, you've no doubt heard of Metal Cardbot. But there has been one huge issue. The series was created in Korea and has long been expensive to import, especially as its popularity in the West has grown. But thankfully, the series has finally been imported to the United States, being distributed by the company Agabus, who runs a website that sells a variety of toys, including both official and third-party Transformers. And they have also been running the modern version of BotCon, which is one of the original Transformers conventions, and it was even officially licensed by Hasbro at one point in time. By the way, I'm going to be attending this year's BotCon, so if you're going to the show and see me, please say hello. Back to the main topic. Agabus is the company distributing Metal Cardbot in the United States. The first wave of figures went up for pre-order in late 2025. After a few delays, they finally made their way into collector hands around March 2026. And in today's video, we're going to review the complete Wave 1 of the toy line. What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and if you've been a longtime fan of this channel, you'll know this is a huge moment for myself. I've been preaching the good word of Metal Cardbot for nearly 2 years now, and I'm so excited that these toys are getting official American releases. Agabus is releasing the series in order, so this first set of toys is called Season 1 Wave 1. Now, if you've seen stuff like Blast Train or Taki, you'll probably be a bit disappointed by Season 1's offerings. I still think these are incredibly solid and fun toys. And like I said earlier, they truly harken back to an earlier Transformers era. I always describe Season 1 as Transformers Cybertron toys if they kept evolving. So while those later toys do kind of blow these ones out of the water, I still think they're important, especially as someone who loves the show and these characters. So let's get into the reviews for Season 1 Wave 1. And if you enjoy videos about Transformers that are not Transformers, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps a video like this, which is essentially a passion project. We'll be reviewing each figure based on the size class, going from smallest to biggest. Transformers size class names are already vague enough, and are one of the most confusing elements for new Transformers collectors, so seeing Metal Cardbot using similarly vague class names like Stealth Class and Mega Class is a bit disappointing. Season 1 Wave 1 features 2 Stealth Class figures, both priced at $28, so essentially the price of a modern Transformers Deluxe class. These two figures are Blue Star and Shadow X. Blue Star is essentially the Optimus Prime of Metal Cardbot. He is a Star Guardian, which is a team of Cardbots who protected Planet Machina, where all the Cardbots come from. Planet Machina was destroyed, so Blue Star was sent into space with a powerful item called a Metal Breath, which is meant to be given to an alien species, to help the refugees of Planet Machina find a new home. Blue Star's original name in the Korean show is Blue Cop. It was likely changed for American markets to sound less generic, and also there is just a negative connotation with the word cop in America. I've seen some people annoyed by the name changes, and yes, some of them are straight up terrible, but you don't really have to call them that. If you want your Blue Star to be Blue Cop, there's nothing stopping you. It's pretty standard to change character names when adapting a toy line to a different country. For example, Sideswipe's name in Japan is Lambor. It's totally different, but Lambor just works better in Japanese markets for whatever reason. So in my mind, it's nothing to worry about. Enjoy your toys how you want. For this review, I am going to call the toy Blue Star though, just for the sake of consistency. Before we dig into the toys themselves, I just wanted to take a quick look at Bluestar's box. It features large CGI renders of his robot and vehicle mode. The setup of the box art is very similar to the recent Transformers packaging redesign. I don't think that was really on purpose. I just think this setup is optimal for a transforming robot toy, as it clearly conveys the two forms of the toy. I do feel like the Metal Cardbot packaging is a bit dark though. I feel like they're going for a serious collector look, but I think for a show like this, the brighter the better. Bluestar's name is displayed at the bottom, and the box lists his vehicle mode as Machina Patrol Car, which feels like an accurate description. The Metal Cardbots do not actually change their forms when they arrive on Earth, so whatever form they turn into would be a Machina vehicle. The back, sides, and top of the box all show other renders of Bluestar. I do wish at least the back of the box had images of the actual toy. I think the packaging in general is good, especially for toys you can only get through online shops. But I think if the line ever makes it to store shelves, there needs to be some improvements. Moving on to Bluestar himself, first we'll look at his vehicle mode, which is a very squished police-themed Lamborghini. He's white and blue with gold accents. He's got clear plastic for his headlights, taillights, and police siren. The back of the car has that cool Lambo vent thing going on. While the car is kind of chubby, it still looks very sleek thanks to the color design. Looking under the car, you can pretty much see the whole dude. One thing I need to point out is that the vehicle mode eyes are completely inaccurate to the show. In the show, Bluestar has much more angular, digital looking eyes, while the toy features a very simple, rounded look for the eyes. This is because the toys were made before the show, so there are some inconsistencies between the designs. It's time to transform him into robot mode. Each figure comes with a set of instructions. I found them to be fairly clear, and I especially like that the instructions also have written out text under the pictures. I think that helps a ton with understanding what you're meant to do for some steps. I'll say right away that I love Bluestar's robot mode. I think it's just a really great, simple but iconic look, and the colors from the vehicle mode work perfectly in robot mode. The little gold accents add a lot to the look for me. There are some issues though. For one, he has a lot of kibble. Some of it is tasteful and adds to the designs, like the shoulder and leg kibble, but his backpack is pretty bad, and it kinda ruins his silhouette. The Lambo vent things do split to form a coattail, which is pretty neat, but the main backpack is so ugly. You can compress it down, but it's still very visible, especially the flap right behind Bluestar's head. Speaking of his head, this is another issue regarding the Season 1 toys. Many characters have very small heads, and no eye decals were applied, so the expressiveness of the character isn't really there. I also need to point out that while the figure is mostly nice and chunky plastic, the back of his legs are super hollow due to transformation. Bluestar is one of the cardbots that comes with an extra non-metal card weapon, in this case being a 6-shooter style blaster, which can be securely stored on the inside of his right leg, and it plugs into his open hand via peg. He has this weapon because the metal card gimmick wasn't developed until later in the project, so some characters just have normal weapons. Bluestar doesn't even use this in the show, but it is a neat extra, and its integration into the toy itself is brilliant, because you can just store it on his leg and it will stay there in both modes. His metal card is the Justice Gauntlet. Just like every metal card, it transforms from a vaguely card-shaped block into his weapon. It also comes with the actual metal card, which is just a thin piece of plastic with his picture on it. The biggest difference between the US and Korean versions of the toy is this card, because the Korean one had text on it, but that was removed for the US version. The gauntlet is made of a light blue clear plastic, and plugs securely onto Bluestar's arm. The Justice Gauntlet is one of my favorite metal card weapons. It adds so much aura to him, though due to his limited articulation, you won't get any crazy poses. But I just feel like it completes his look and makes him stand out. Overall, I think Bluestar is a really fun figure, and I think he's a great representation of the Season 1 toy line. Not a lot of articulation, but it makes up for that with a fun and simple transformation that's surprisingly addicting, and the metal card gimmick is just a cherry on top. I think if you want to dip your toe into the line, you really can't go wrong with Bluestar. Shadow X is a ninja metal cardbot that likes to play tricks. His vehicle mode is a VTOL jet thing. I really like the shark motif on the front. You can split the top and bottom open due to transformation, and it looks like the vehicle mode has a mouth. Again, his alt mode eyes are inaccurate to the show. The VTOL rotors unfortunately cannot spin freely, so he's a bit lame in that regard. I also think the color of the blades is a bit ugly. I feel like they should have been painted gold to match the rest of his deco. I think in general this mode hides a lot of kibble pretty well, though the back half of the vehicle is super gappy. Let's transform this guy into robot mode. His transformation is simple to the point of almost being unsatisfying. There's no real clever tricks going on here. The robot mode is undeniably sleek, and Shadow X is one of the Cardbots that does have robot mode eyes, though they're the wrong color. I do love his little ninja headband, and the silver and purple color scheme is really nice. Plus he has some pretty good articulation. Shadow X's metal card transforms into a giant ninja star, and I have to say I appreciate the gold and black paint applied. The weapon is massive. To equip it you have to remove one of his rotors, and you can put it into his hand. But it doesn't really plug in as much as I would like. The metal card plugs in kind of loosely. This is so you can spin it around. In the show, he uses it to create powerful wind attacks. That's kind of fun, but I would have preferred to plug it in securely. But he does look cool with the weapon equipped. Overall, he's a cool figure, but I don't like him nearly as much as Blue Star. And he costs as much as a modern Transformers Deluxe class, making it much harder to justify his price. Next up we have Mega Class, the $30 price point for the line. There is only one Mega Class in Season 1, Wave 1. Bluster Gale, original Korean name Buster Gallon. Bluster Gale is one of two figures sent to me by Agabus themselves, so thanks to them for sending these over to me. Bluster Gale is a part of Steelhook's pirate crew. He's the brains of the group, inventing devices to help them. In a way, he's kind of like Wheeljack, though his devices tend to work properly most of the time. His alternate mode is a bulldozer. Unfortunately, his treads are static, and he has no wheels either. The top of the vehicle has a lot of noticeable screw holes, but overall it's a chunky construction vehicle which is fun. Once again, the vehicle mode eyes are inaccurate. Bluster Gale actually has 3 modes. This is Bluster Gale's drone mode. This mode was never used in the show itself, and the American release doesn't even advertise it on the box or instructions. It's really strange and just feels like a fan mode, but it explains some of Bluster Gale's weirder articulation choices. Bluster Gale's robot mode is chunky and squat. I have to say I hate this color combination. This is probably just a me thing, but I hate the green, yellow, and teal. I do love a lot of his details though. It looks like he's wearing a workman's outfit with belt and suspenders, as well as sculpted bags on his hips. His robot mode is pretty clean save for his arms, which have the bulldozer shovels attached to them. I love his head sculpt. He's wearing a hat, goggles, and has a sort of gas mask looking face. He is sadly missing his robot mode eyes. A cool detail is that this piece of kibble, which covers his head for vehicle mode, actually has a sculpted welding mask. Weirdly, the mask has sculpted claw marks on it. I can't remember if this was in the show. He has a non-metal card weapon in the form of a blaster, which can also be used as a wrench. That's really fun, but the blaster handle does stick out. This weapon is stored in vehicle mode on the back. His metal card weapon is cast in a clear yellow plastic. It transforms into chest armor sporting a powerful cannon in the center, as well as miniguns on his shoulders. I have to say this metal card really completes his look. It makes yellow more of the primary color than green, and I think it just looks better. He's about the same height as Blue Star and Shadow X, if not a tiny bit shorter. I'm not sure what exactly pushed a Bluster Gale over the edge to cost $3 more, but I'm also not going to freak out over such a minor price difference. Bluster Gale is probably my least favorite of this first wave, but I always kind of knew he would be. I wasn't super keen on the character in the show, and the color scheme alone turned me off from the toy. Plus, I'm not usually a fan of construction vehicle alt modes. Our next two figures are both in the Power class, the $38 price point. We'll start with Mech Tackle, who was also sent to me by Agabus, so thanks to them. Mech Tackle's Korean name is Mega Trucker. I understand why they changed it, as it's a very generic name, but Mech Tackle is also kind of a terrible name in my opinion. I think they chose that name due to his football helmet head design, and there's also a quote on his box. Play life like a sport. It's no fun if it's not a challenge. Which this man absolutely does not say in the show. He's the first metal cardbot that June and Blue Star capture. He was mostly causing issues because he loves to dance, especially to Latino music, but he was disrupting human dance parties and blowing the metal cardbot's cover. He's one of my faves character-wise. Mech Tackle's alt mode is a Machina City dump truck. He's bright orange and the truck mode has a nice chonk to it. I have to admit, I didn't even realize he was meant to be a dump truck, but it totally makes sense, considering some small details like the ladder on the side, as well as the side panels which mimic the shape of a garbage truck. He even has an open truck bed. Well, mostly open. There is a big divider in the middle, unfortunately. His vehicle mode eyes are inaccurate to the show as usual, but overall I really dig this vehicle mode. He kinda reminds me of Age of Extinction Galvatron. I do have to point out the really ugly gap in the back though. It's very hollow there due to transformation. Mech transforms into a tall, beefy robot. He's got a big chest and broad shoulders, though his head looks really tiny, like a lollipop without a stick. He does have eyes though, which is nice, and the football helmet is a cool design for a robot. I will say his midsection is surprisingly thin. You can really see what I mean in his side profile. Mech is quite a bit larger than the previous figures. It is cool to get such a big guy for only $38, though this makes him largely inaccurate scale-wise. His articulation is fairly limited, but you can get some okay poses out of him. Mech metal card is a shield made of orange plastic. It can only attach to his left shoulder. It's pretty cool looking, though just standing straight it doesn't add much to his look. Thanks to his waist articulation, you can get a pretty decent guarding pose going on. I was not really looking forward to Mech, as he's always been one of the more generic designs to me, but honestly I've had a lot of fun with him. I think he's pretty decent, though nowhere near as good as our next figure, Steelhook. Known as Black Hook in the original show, Steelhook is the captain of a pirate crew. He's a scoundrel but does live by a consistent code of honor, which is kind of weird for a pirate. Not really a profession known for being honorable, but Steelhook is built different. Being a pirate captain, it makes perfect sense that Steelhook transforms into a pirate ship. This is such a unique and cool alternate mode. I love the sparkly blue plastic used, and the gold and red accents make him look regal and powerful. The shaping of the ship in general is really nice, though there is some very obvious kibble, the worst of it being Steelhook's head just chilling there. His alt mode eyes are inaccurate, but I actually like the rounded look for this design. The ship mode is also not big enough to carry his crewmates like in the show, which is unfortunate but understandable. He would have needed to be huge. You can put little Lego minifigures or mini-cons on it though. There's a giant hole in the bottom, which is not usually good for a pirate ship, but in the show Steelhook flies in the air rather than sailing the seas. And this hole is actually accurate to his model in the show. It's funny, Transformers hasn't done a pirate ship in the 40 years the franchise has existed, but just 3 years after Metal Cardbot hits the scene, we're suddenly getting a pirate ship scourge in Cyberworld. Not that I'm complaining. This is exactly why competition is important for markets. It leads to new ideas and innovations, something that the Transformers brand has been lacking for a minute now. Steelhook's robot mode is badass. His design has some really nice proportioning, and the colors are placed throughout in a really pleasing way. His head design is awesome. I love the pirate hat and eye patch combo. His chest is designed after old-timey British Navy outfits. He's got a nice swashbuckling belt buckle, and the colors are separated in a way that makes it look like he's wearing boots. They went all in on the pirate theming, and he just looks amazing. He has a bit of back kibble, but I find it to be extremely manageable. And otherwise, it's a super clean robot mode. For non-metal card weapons, he has this anchor pickaxe style weapon, which becomes the pointy front part of the ship. He also has rocket pods molded into his backpack. You can actually lift them up behind his head, which is cool. Steelhook is probably the most articulated figure in Wave 1, which isn't saying much, but it's another reason he is a standout figure. Steelhook's metal card weapon is the Captain Cannon, which connects to his right shoulder. I kinda just love a big ass cannon as a weapon. It has a flip out scope. You'll notice the scope is for his eye patched eye. In the show, he can actually flip it up. I thought he was just wearing an eye patch for the swag factor, but it turns out pirates actually wore them to help see in the dark, not actually because they lost an eye. Still, I'm sure it probably seems funny if you haven't seen the show. I think Steelhook might be the best bang for your buck figure in this line. Both the robot mode and vehicle modes are fantastic, and his design and colors alone make him a striking display piece. Plus at $38, he's really big and well painted. The fact that he costs less than a Voyager class Transformer is insane to me. If you have to pick just one Metal Cardbot to buy, it should be Steelhook. The last figure we'll be looking at today is Heavy Iron, the only figure in the Road Warrior class. At $65, Heavy Iron is the most expensive toy in the line, but he's also the biggest figure in Season 1, and he even mogs older era leader class toys like Cybertron Megatron here, at least in size. Heavy Iron is the main antagonist of Season 1. He is an outlaw who seeks power over others. His alternate mode is a flat-nosed truck with a trailer. Obviously, he has massive Optimus Prime vibes. Having a giant truck and trailer is really fun, and I love the colors. The cab can separate from the trailer and feels very nice in hand. He looks mean as hell, which is perfect for the character. The trailer is a big brick of parts, and it doesn't open or become a base or anything. The molded doors are also awkwardly angled inward, but I don't really mind that look. Heavy Iron may look like Prime in vehicle mode, but he transforms more like Ultra Magnus, with the trailer coming apart to form his arms and legs. Parts forming is a hot topic in the Transformers community, and thankfully Metal Cardbot doesn't have a lot of it, but some characters like Heavy Iron are straight parts formers. Despite having to take him apart, I still think his transformation is really fun. Each piece has its own simple transformation steps, and the massive robot comes together so smoothly. The cab forms Heavy Iron's chest and head. This robot is so menacing. He exudes the strength he displays on the show. The head sculpt is awesome. He doesn't have eyes, but that is actually accurate to the show as he only has eyes when not enraged. I love how the smokestacks become these shoulder-mounted blasters. He has one non-metal card weapon, an arm-mounted blade that can attach to either arm. It looks awesome, though I do wish he had two blades. The weapon transforms and stores as a part of the trailer. Heavy Iron is not very articulated. You can get some poses, but the dude is mostly a brick, though he does a great job of standing there menacingly. Heavy Iron's metal card turns into a chest plate, which is not the most exciting metal card admittedly, though the transparent blue plastic and gold paint really ties the look together for me. And I do prefer his look overall with the metal card. While Heavy Iron might not be the most posable toy, he carries a huge presence with him, and he will stand out on any shelf. Though Transformers fans may dislike him for his parts forming nature, I think he's probably one of my favorite figures from the line so far. I think Season 1, Wave 1 of Metal Cardbot is really solid. My favorite figures of the wave are Bluster, Steelhook, and Heavy Iron. My least favorite figures are Bluster, Gale, and Shadow X. You can currently get Season 1, Wave 1 as individual figures or in a bundle. The bundle comes with a bonus metal card made of real metal, as well as a sticker sheet featuring show-accurate eyes for the vehicle mode, and stickers that get rid of the eyes altogether. Which is a good idea because I've seen many fans dislike the vehicle mode eyes. Personally, I love them. They make Metal Cardbot stand apart from Transformers, and the vehicle modes are just so much more expressive with them to me. But I don't mind stickers existing for those who don't like that aspect of the toys. Currently, you can only purchase Season 1 Wave 1 toys from Agabus themselves, or from Big Bad Toy Store. For some reason on Big Bad Toy Store the prices are higher, so I recommend buying from Agabus. For those wondering when these will come to store shelves, you'll be waiting a while. It is very hard to secure store shelf space, especially for a small company like Agabus. I think best case scenario right now, we get Metal Cardbot toys on Amazon, which would expose the toy line to a ton of people who have never seen them. While I was working on this video, Agabus announced pre-orders for Season 1 Wave 2, featuring Firebuster, Metalert, Fleta Zed, and Buffalo Crush. I was honestly expecting Season 1 to be wrapped up in 2 waves, but we still need Wild Guard Eat, Dexter, and Ultimate Blue Cop, so I assume that wave will go up for pre-order towards the end of the year. One interesting thing to note is that apparently the toys in Wave 2 will have US exclusive decos. The Wave 1 figures are identical to the Korean versions, but Wave 2 will have slightly different paint applications, probably to make them more accurate to the show. For example, the original release of Phoenix Fire had white eyes in vehicle mode, while the Agabus version seems to have show-accurate blue eyes. This is really interesting, and I look forward to dissecting these figures when they come out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you'd like to support me further, there is no better way than Patreon or YouTube memberships. For $1 a month, you get access to my super chill Discord server where we discuss toys daily. Also, I just wanted to let you know that I now have a P.O. box. My P.O. box will be listed in every description of my YouTube videos going forward, so if you'd like to send me anything, please do. I'll be starting a new unboxing series on my channel, so I will be unboxing or opening every single package I'm sent through the mail. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.